Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is the Three Amigos. It is Thursday. How you guys doing today? How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Really excited for segment number 3 after how fun 1 and 2 were.
Yeah, number two, cut. I needed a minute to get my headspace right. So yeah, I'm glad.
Hopefully people are watching you tonight with wine.
Yeah, have wine. Oh my goodness. And Dion, how are you?
Howdy. I'm doing great. I'm ready for round 3. I like that you got us laughing between 2 and 3. And I'm going to send you a degree in MSU, and you'll understand what that is when it gets there.
Awesome.
It'll make sense when you get it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, got it. So I'm not even going to guess because you're very creative. So I will just wait for it to show up.
Okay.
Hey, what I want to talk about here is I believe we are about to have people start talking about housing crash. Now, be very clear. I am not talking about YouTubers getting clicks. I am talking about economists. Yeah. I read an article. I believe the gentleman's name is Gary Schilling. I might be wrong because I have my notes. I don't have my notes with me. But basically, the argument is as follows. Interest rates are going to go up. Housing affordability is going to go down. Transactions are going to fall. Supply is going to increase. Bingo, bango. Housing will fall 15 to 20%. This is a different game we're playing now. We're not playing with 29-year-olds sitting in their mom's basements looking at charts. We're now looking at billionaires, because Gary Schilling is one, talking about what could be the future. So we should have this conversation, right? Do we see a series of dominoes with our crystal ball, which is as broken as everyone else's, that we could have a housing crash of 20% this year? And I guess I'll go to Dion first. We'll go to Dion first.
So I actually think that both of you agree because you've been stacking cash for that eventuality. And it might not be that prices drop, but it's that prices don't increase fast enough to where the rents that are increasing fast enough make the deals better. So there's several reasons why you might want to buy. I don't see the metrics in place for a 20% crash, because 20 is a crash, less than that's a correction.
Correct.
40-year mortgages, which is going to reduce payment so people can pay more. The magic thing that was said that I think literally is not possible is the increase in supply. We have apartment building. We have high-end $700,000-$800,000 houses being built because that's where the profit is. We don't have entry-level homes. We don't have second-level homes being made. So where are people going to move that would create the supply? If interest rates go up, you can't just go out and buy more house now because it's going to cost more. So I don't think I think demand is going to be as strong as ever. I think the thing that's different in the last 10 years versus between 70 and 80, 80, 90, 90 to the 2000s is YouTube University and other platforms where here's how you house hack. It wasn't a term. It's been happening for thousands of years. People have had roommates in all formats of society. But now there are classes, there are courses you could take to teach you. This is how you make work optional. This is how you get into investing. This is how you calculate your yield. And when things change, like how long you can set your mortgage as an investor, you can pay more for a house and still get yield until the prices catch up to where that doesn't happen. And then rents will inchworm along behind it. So after Matt shares his thoughts, and I have a few more minutes to think about a topic like this, I think I'll have a better answer other than the knee-jerk reaction of they have the same follower base that will watch more if it gives them an excuse to sit back and do nothing. That's why YouTube videos on crashes get clicks. That justifies why I'm not jumping in yet. I'm going to wait for that crash.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because that talking head told me to.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. And Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, my call all the way along was, I think we're going to get some negative numbers this year. I think that overall for the year, I think we will still be up.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm still buying great deals.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it really comes down to for 2019, for 2020, really kind of my entire life, I kind of ignore people for the most part because I've done my own research. I've done the work myself. I know and understand math. And so when I hear some person at some outing quote some talking head, I'm just like, sure, tell me about that. And then that's all they've got. I'm like, but that's what you're bringing party to party to party. And that's what then becomes the narrative.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't go to that many parties.
Yeah.
Really none. Because I'm not really invited. And that's probably best. But when they're having these conversations, it's just then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and everybody gets miserable. Like I remember the pain of 08, 9, and 10. I remember that pain very, very, very vividly.
Oh, yeah.
And I can tell you,
Me too.
that taught me a lot of lessons about what to do this time around. And it's coming. It's going to hurt. It's not going to be nearly the crash that we saw then. And the government already has the antidote to most of those issues.
Yeah.
It's called the 40-year mortgage and down payment assistance.
Yeah.
And that is going to what? Kick the can further down the road, because that's what it does.
Yeah.
And so there will be people buying homes that will feel less pain. And they'll say, hey, I was finally able to buy a home because I could finally afford it. And it's going to be based on a 40-year mortgage, which is largely for a homeowner a bad idea, because most people, when's the average churn of somebody moving? Isn't it like 5.5 years?
8 years.
8 years. Yeah. Well, that means you're still interest only, pal.
Yeah.
It
Basically.
means you pay down zero principal.
Yeah.
So that's going to push that further down the path. So I think all of those things happen. I think the 40-year is the only thing that helps lessen the pain.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm excited to know that, I don't need to know how to gamble on the game. I only need to know how the biggest loser gambled on the game.
Right.
And in this game, that's Zillow. So
Yeah.
they said they went from 11 to 16. I know they're wrong. So that works.
Yeah, exactly. God, Zillow, man. Can you be more wrong more consistently? Crazy.
Exactly.
So there's a couple of
more famously wrong, right? Like
yeah.
they don't do it small.
No, they don't do it small.
No.
But what's
No.
$560 billion they lost? Jesus Christ. So it's interesting for me because it's one thing for me to have 21 years of experience in housing and then watch somebody who's been in the market for 5 minutes in his mom's basement and just go, you're so stupid. Now I have these economists and other folks with advanced degrees like I have, who have been doing their job for decades. So I have to look at I see what they see. I mean, I can tie the charts together, but what they're missing, they're not looking at real estate. So this is what I need. This guy, Gary, I think it's Gary Schilling. I wish I had my notes with me. He's basically saying the cost of money is going up. True statement. So far, so good. When the cost of money goes up, housing becomes more expensive. Also a true story. When housing gets more expensive and less affordable, right? The payment goes up. More people get no answers. So far, you're right on. Oh, by the way, that will have supply go up. You get more, that's where he starts to get a little washy, right? Because again, in my world, because I look every day, I have 8 or maybe it's 9 units in my buy bonds. I should have 40. The 9 that I have probably have 30 offers on them. So if the first 3 things happen in half of the offers disappear, I still have 9 and I have 15 instead of 30. That's just how the numbers work. So we would need to go significantly higher, Gary. I'm just saying Gary because I think that's who it is, for your analogy to work out. Most people are thinking rates will go, like Bank of America is the highest. I talked about this morning with Jonathan Twombly at 2.75 Fed funds, which probably means a mortgage of 5.5 or 6 by the end of next year, right? So 2023. That's probably high enough to stop things. We're not getting there this year, just not getting there. So there's nothing in 2022, even if rates went up a full 1 basis points, that would be enough damage to demand, right? Because we'll go from 30 to 15 when there's 9. That's not enough damage to demand to have demand supply, which is what we all want, really to start growing. That may happen in 2023, where rates get to a point where instead of we go from 30 to 15, we go to 5. Now we get data on market expansion, we get inventory building, we really have a recession. It's a nasty recession, job movement, all of that. that could be out there, but that's 2023, right? Because what Gary's not appreciating is where we are today in the market with record low inventory. We have so much headroom to make up before this becomes a problem, and supply builds on supply. And that's where I think Gary and his call is he's all wet. He's just wrong. Or I should say he's at least early in his call.
If supply were to magically catch up to a balanced market, that doesn't create a 20% market crash.
It's the next leap. Yes.
It's the next. So, and what we're missing from 2008 is so many people will go, prices are so high, this is how it's going to impact it. Prices didn't cause 2008. 105% financing, ninja loans, adjustable rate mortgages, things that we're just not seeing now. We're seeing the adjustable rates being offered, which that causes in 3 to 5 years some problems that we can worry about. But again, it's not this year. It's probably not even 2023, but that's coming. And that's what's missing. That's what I think the Economist can grab a couple of key things, but they're not looking at where is the demand coming from. People can work from home. People are homeschooling. The last 2 years changed the entire landscape to where home ownership is easier for a lot of people that were for decades forced to live in cities where home ownership almost wasn't an option. So I still don't see it. I don't see me making a $10,000 bet with Ken saying, hey, a 40% crash is not going to happen. I would probably do that bet for 40.
Yeah.
20, I'm confident it's not going to happen. Like any other investor, I would take advantage of it if it did happen.
Oh yeah, of course.
Have a plan for both. Yeah. So here's the only benefit, I think, to the people watching this channel. The people who watch just the regular news and aren't on YouTube University educating themselves on how real estate works, and they see the news and they see, oh, a crash is coming. Okay, we're going to pull back. That's not going to lessen demand, but it's going to take away some of the demand that would have been added by the people who could be chasing the same deals you are.
Oh no, you want to know the best time to be an investor was 2010. And that, by the way, is also the lowest prices because none of you all were out there. You all thought it would go lower. Crazy time. So yeah, I think Gary's all wet. I see his logic. He doesn't understand the real estate market and how depressed we are on inventory. I mean, like, for example, if we woke up tomorrow or Monday and the 30-year mortgage was 8%, I mean, just some wild ass high number, it would take so long for things to move that even at 8% would stop the market. But even at that level, it would probably take most of the year for inventory to slowly build where then prices would fall. It's just, and we're not going to 8% on Monday, but that was just an example. So Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and tonight, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, 8 p.m. Eastern time live stream. Bring the person that's dragging their feet in your investing career in real estate. We'll fix it.
Very cool. And Dion, you?
Well, I will have both of me at Matt's live stream tonight. You can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. My live streams are on Tuesday.
Very cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.